Hey, Michael's checking his watch already.
Sorry, it said we're live.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm David Plummer.
I'm Michael Ferguson.
We run and own a company called Aerial Influence. We focus on drones for professional purposes, whether that's agriculture or engineering or search and rescue. The list goes on and on. Yeah, there's always something going on. So today, we're doing this podcast every Friday. We did miss last week. That was the first time we've missed in a while. So, and we'll talk about maybe a little bit what we did last week as well. Yeah. But we do this every week because we want to answer questions for you guys. You know, there's not a lot of people right now in the country that are actually focusing on what we're focusing on.
Right.
So we just kind of want to open it up and have a frank discussion with you guys and answer any questions that you might have. But I think first, I think we should start with, what are you thankful for, Michael? It's almost Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm thankful that I'm relatively healthy.
Yeah, there you go.
And the family's relatively healthy.
Good.
Yeah, that's about it.
I mean,
obviously, there's much more.
Yeah.
That's a pretty blanket
I'll
statement.
mirror that, and I'll say I'm thankful for the business that we've built here. I think this has been a pretty great thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right, we've already got some comments coming in. What is the largest drone in gallons available? Oh, and he's let's see, 1984 Kanto from Greece. Thank you so much.
Oh, nice.
But Angus, who is not from Greece, he wants to know what the largest drone in gallons.
Well, so it's a 30 liter. Let me just real quick, 30 liters to gallons. So that's going to be basically just under an 8-gallon tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
So under 8 gallons.
Yeah. So 7.925, roughly.
Okay. All right. Good. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing. So obviously, I think over the past 6 months probably, we've seen the agriculture side really start picking up.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got to do so many fun things, and we mention these things almost every week. But
yeah,
like we got to spray the Carolina Panthers Stadium with water, showing them how we could do COVID. Right. We got to feed a bunch of koi fish. Yeah. Last week was one of the cooler ones though that I think we've probably done. We got to go. Pretty cool. We got to go to the Mendota Ranch, and if you guys don't know what the Mendota Ranch is, it's in Canadian Texas.
Yeah, it's a small, tiny ranch of 11,000
acres.
Real small.
Yes.
But no, they seem to be doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And it was also neat because around here we have pretty flat land. It's pretty. Yeah. You don't really have any distant mountains.
There's no
or anything.
vistas.
Right. No vistas. No panhandles or anything.
Right.
But so it was neat seeing the drone actually. Come down in elevation to the different terrain to do the spraying, where you just don't get to see that as much when you're just doing kind of something flat. You don't see the little undulations up and down. But yeah, this was neat, and it was windy.
It was really windy, and we're 45 miles west of here. I just want to make sure nobody's writing us. We're 45 miles west of Chicago, and so we know what wind is. We get really windy, but this was a different kind, and the dust was the worst because it's very dry, but anyway, it was really interesting. We did an entire video on that, so go to our YouTube channel if you want to see that. And also, I believe they're going to put out the Mendota Ranch. If you check them out on YouTube, I think they also have Facebook and Instagram. But if you're going to check them out on YouTube, look for us because I think they're going to put a video out that'll include,
I think so.
Include us in some capacity.
I just want to do a shout out. Bonnie, we don't really know Bonnie, but it's her. He's the wife,
yes,
of Jason Abraham. Hope your hand is feeling better. She had surgery, and they actually did a video on that where they got in the helicopter, flew to I think Colorado or something like that.
It was Denver.
They
got really interesting videos.
That'd be cool to do.
Yeah,
come on, honey, let's
hop in the helicopter. So we got a couple comments here. So Healthy Move Portugal, and we must have missed one of your emails, so I apologize for that, but we will look it up. You say, my email is about starting a drone business, and what drone to order and when? The Evo 2 or the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, or wait for version 3s? All right, so
that's a tough
one. So obviously we've got one of the new Mavics. It's awesome. Like, it's a very cool drone. It's definitely the best cinematic style drone that we've got. You know, and
well, but so not cinematic, because I think he's talking.
No, I know
he might be talking about the M2AE 3.
I get it.
Okay,
I get
sorry,
it. No,
sorry.
I understand what he's saying, but it's the best cinematic drone we've got in terms of the Mavic. If they decide to go to a Mavic 3 Enterprise Advanced, it's hard to imagine where they're going to go, because you don't really need a cinematic drone for search and rescue or for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You've already got that high resolution thermal on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure where they're going to. I'm sure it'll do something. It'll fold your laundry or something like that. But
no, it does. It sorts the colors.
Yes. But I think that's the question: is how much better can it be than the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced? And again, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure they'll find something to do.
I mean, if you look at, so the first generation of Dual was, no zoom capability and a pretty tiny thermal sensor.
Yeah.
The upgrade is a full size thermal sensor, and now you do get, pretty decent zoom. With that.
Yeah. I mean, it's 32 times digital zoom in photo mode.
Yeah.
So it's still giving you pretty good.
So I mean, I guess I'd answer the question this way: if and who was it again?
Healthy Move Portugal.
So we'll call you Portugal.
Yes.
So if you're doing jobs, or you've got the possibility of some jobs, then I would say you need a drone now.
Yeah.
So then waiting,
and you're not going to be disappointed. Like, yes, I'm sure the Mavic 3 Enterprise Advanced is going to be more than what you're getting now. It's going to be better. It's going to have a better color camera on it, etc.
Yeah.
Better zoom, But I don't think that means you're going to hate the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. I think you're going to see that drone is incredibly capable. Same for the Autel EVO 2. I know you asked about that as well. The Autel EVO 2 Dual 640T Enterprise version, I think, is the full name of it.
Yeah, I just kind of default to you.
Yeah, but you're basically getting the exact same package. You get a bigger smart controller. Obviously, Autel's got some other things like the no geofencing, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's the same packages for like $1,700 more. So I love the Autel drone. I think it's great, but I think most people are going to gravitate immediately to DJI. So out of that, if that answers your question, I would say go with DJI. And I would say if you've got work right now, don't hesitate to get the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. Knowing
or the
Autel,
I mean,
or the Autel,
I mean that is a great drone, and Pat Tanner really likes the Autel.
Yeah, Pat Tanner from West Chicago. Yeah,
one of the things that he told me actually just yesterday when he came to pick up something was that one of the reasons he likes the Autel is just for that the battery. So the battery, meaning he gets about 40 minutes of flight, where the other guys are getting about 25, 27 or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. But you're right.
And see, he's saying that they are switching out batteries a lot more than he is.
Well, and that also goes. So that's one of the things that I was saying. Like, of course, it'll be better. So the Mavic 3 has a 45-minute flight time, supposedly. So
and as soon as so I showed Pat, and he goes, "Oh, the Autel battery." So it's like
exactly.
it does kind of look like it, but the idea is that they're trying to bump up that flight time, and even though one is more expensive than the other, sometimes when you're looking at, okay, well, now I get 10 solid extra minutes of flight time. Yeah. Although the batteries are probably they're more though too, aren't they?
They're I want to say no, they're both at about the same price range. I want to say for the Mavic 3 and the Mavic and the Autel, they're renting the $220 range.
Okay.
I believe it's $189 for the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know that you could go wrong with either drone necessarily, but DJI just is kind of more bang for the buck.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they seem to just know how to put it all together, and they they seem to really be listening to their customers too. Because I remember when the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual came out. So this was like the first iteration of their Enterprise drone.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot of the things. It was like it needs a zoom on it. It needs higher resolution thermal. It needs, you know, whatever it was. There were several things, and DJI listened to that, and they definitely made those changes for this version. The next version, again, it's going to be Mavic 3. It's going to end up, you know, with longer flight time, better color camera,
I bet
kind of
they'll
stuff.
definitely try to bump that flight time up. But
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's go back to some other comments.
what's the
Rather.
advance of DJI? What's the advance of DJI Agras than others? What's the
advantage
of DJI Agras? I'm assuming from other spray drones.
Yeah. And we're going all over the map here, guys. We're going both enterprise and agricultural drones.
Right.
So throw it at us.
So I would say the advantage of DJI Agras is it seems like some of the, let's see, what is it? I know some of the ones that are around here, DJI just might have a little bit better of a kind of ecosystem.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, the spray drones, they've definitely they work. They're precise. You know, we've tested, you know, certain functions out, and they're very good. And if you get something like the Phantom 4 RTK to do the mapping, you can, you know, essentially it's just kind of, it's a pretty fluid going from the doing the mapping into Terra. Planning that, exporting it to the Agras.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of like, you know, from planning to actually spraying. I think they do that a little bit better than most.
And they've really the main ones. I mean, right now, like DJI Agriculture is sort of already leading the way here in the United States.
It is. Yeah.
Now I know they're not the biggest, you know, worldwide, but
right.
In the United States, in the agricultural spraying drone side, they're certainly leading the way right now.
Right. And I mean, there is a lot to be said for, I mean, DJI has so many drones that getting the flight time just down for a particular drone model and everything to see if, okay, over time, is this drone, you know, it's not falling out of the air, it's not getting kicked around by wind. I mean, it's, you know, it's a stable design.
Yeah.
And, they just have crewed so many flight hours on basically all their drones. So
well, and I also, you know, one of the things we always say is that if you can fly a DJI Mini, you can fly one of the agriculture drones, and that's true. I mean, the big, you know, it's scarier to fly the
and then there's
drone.
all kinds of extra features and everything. But
right, but the great thing about DJI is if you want to practice before you fly your, you know, $30,000 drone or whatever. You know, you can practice on a DJI Mini 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you wreck it, that sucks. But that's $500 or $600 as opposed to $30,000.
Right.
So that I would say is a benefit, you know, in some ways as well. So.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. Oh, somebody's asking us if we want to buy followers. No, we don't.
Want to become famous by followers?
No, we don't. Thought that was somebody says that you look like Sylvester Stallone.
I do?
Yes. Take it as a compliment.
Thank you.
Take it as a compliment. That's right. How many acres per hour can be sprayed if spraying 10 gallons per acre?
How many acres per hour can be sprayed if spraying 10 gallons per acre? Well, let's see. I mean, first of all, it depends on which drone. But like you're putting down quite a bit of gallons per acre, so it is going to be a lot less. Yeah, because I think the stuff that DJI puts out regarding, you know, how many acres it can do, kind of, and everybody should know that, you know, if they say 14 acres per hour or 24. I mean, that is dependent on
how much
gallons per acre.
Right.
If you're putting down 10 gallons per acre, no, you're not going to get that. But I'm seeing most people are doing around the 2 gallon per acre mark. I think DJI's the stuff that they put out regarding how many acres it could do per hour
Yeah.
is based on even less than 2 gallons per acre. So again, it's doing the math, but that 10 you're going to get significantly less because you're putting down a ton per acre.
Yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question. And if
It doesn't very well, but
he was talking about the T30.
the T30. Well, so if it's it is roughly an 8 gallon tank. So
Let's see, HAL 9000. After flying here, actually, I didn't know you could do this, but there you go. So now you can actually just read it yourself. After flying my Air 2S, I long for longer real life air times. Will DJI make a larger battery? Yeah, actually, for the Mavic 2, for the DJI Mavic 3, it is. They rated it at around 45 minutes, which is a little more than what Autel rates there. So you're probably looking at 35, 40 minutes of real life flight time in calm conditions. We were out flying when we were in Texas. I mean, it was 45 mile an hour.
Wait a minute, but is he saying, are they going to make a bigger battery for the Air 2S?
Oh, well, for the Air 2S, I don't know. I don't think
they have two different.
No, they don't have different batteries for the Air 2S. I thought you were talking about just in general longing for longer battery life.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think specifically for the Air 2S. No, you're not.
Yeah, the only drone that they really, as far as I can, they did it with the Inspire. I think they had TB47s and TB48s.
Right.
With the M200 series, they had 50s and then 55s, and then they just did away with the 50s, and all you could do is TB55s. So I'm wondering if based on that, because there were some other issues too, because you put on TB50s versus 55s, and the center of gravity is changed pretty drastically.
Yeah,
because those batteries are basically they're big batteries compared to like the Inspire batteries. So now all of a sudden you're weighted front.
Yeah, right.
So
it's not gonna.
I don't know if they're really going to do that anymore.
So Hal says, thanks, Healthy Move Portugal. And they put his up here. I guess Autel will come with an Autel EVO 3 soon, and it will probably have even longer flight time. Just guessing here. No background info.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see what happens. Things are going to get interesting, I think, because obviously Autel is number 2 right now in the U.S. in terms of, I believe that's true. I think they've got the next biggest chunk, which is not a lot of that 100%.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see what they come out with next. I hope they've had some turmoil behind the scenes, but I hope they're past that and can move forward with the company, because it is a good drone, and I did have a chance to get my hands on that smart controller, and it's really, really nice.
Yeah, that is pretty
that
sweet.
Big screen is really something to behold.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that the Autel will end up coming out with something more in the near future. And I know they've got like the competitor with the Mini that's like the Nano and the Light, and like that stuff's coming out as well.
It'd be interesting to see how that stuff kind of compares to I guess the Mini DJI. What's the
Mini 2 is what's out.
And what's the
then there's
Evo?
the Air. I think it's the Nano.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I got a couple things here. We put these are some old questions that we've never gotten to that I wanted to put up. So we did a video not too long ago, or we've actually done several videos about flying indoors with either the DJI Mini 2, or we even did a couple videos with FPV drones. And so
we even used the Mavic 2 Dual too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we wrecked it. Yeah. All right. So Matthew L says, I'm thinking you need something more like a Cinewhoop type of a drone. Would be more effective for these SWAT teams in clearing rooms. You can get one in smaller form factor with 2-inch props to fit. Yeah. You're right. And we did do a video about that. And, I was kind of the one going, I wonder if we could do this, because you don't realize, though, I think, and you probably...
Caesar, the guy we had, definitely knows how to fly, too, but yeah.
Quad Daddy FPV is his call sign. But you should check him out, because he is a really talented FPV pilot, and it takes talent.
And it does.
It is very difficult. Like,
and
I was able to fly, but just barely. So it really is difficult, and that's the only issue I see is you're going to have a pilot specifically trained to fly FPV.
Yeah.
Because I can train just about anybody, I feel like, to fly a Mini 2
Yeah, I mean,
today. There's nothing to know. It's like up,
long
down,
as you've
left,
got,
right.
Yeah, as long as you've got GPS for the most part, and even inside, it does utilize the sensors, and it kind of keeps it, at least stable, where if you have your hands off the sticks, it may drift a little bit, but it's not going to plummet.
Right.
The FPV drones, if you take your hands off the sticks,
it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah,
yes, it's over. I mean, I wrecked my very first one. Remember that? Or no, you wrecked it actually. The Bumblebee.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was like, excited about getting this drone, but it wasn't your fault. It was my fault because I ordered the wrong size battery.
Oh, you see, yeah, that's what I was telling you.
Yeah, so that was great. Let me go back, just check comments real quick. Nope, we're up to date right now. I got a couple more. Let's see.
But yeah, he's definitely right with that, because in GPS denied environments and all that kind of stuff, and even sensors, sometimes they need light. A fully manual FPV drone, it would if you had the right pilot, it'd be great. It'd be perfect.
But that person would kind of have to be solely,
And I mean, maybe you could get that with, every other, like, every so often there'd be a department with a guy that used to fly. It would be difficult.
Yeah. All right. So we did a video about, here are some amazing things drones can do. And, I asked for ideas. On the Move with Fifi says firefighting could be one, fit an extinguisher on a drone or multiple drones and take them to work.
Yeah.
Not a horrible idea. We've talked about this, either that or having like
some type of flame retardant solution.
Yeah. Like, I think, who were we talking to? They were talking about those like balls of.
Oh, yeah. So
or maybe we're not supposed to talk about that. I don't know.
No. Well, no, they sell them. They sell them. Yeah, so it's actually, it looks like a bowling ball. There's different sizes. Some look like melons, some look like more bowling balls. But essentially, it's kind of wrapped and it has this flame retardant powder.
Yeah.
And so you actually can drop that. I mean, they had like some stuff where they had a fire going in, one of those steel drums,
Yeah.
and they popped one in there, and basically the fire kind of burns the outside, and then it creates basically a small explosion, and it disperses this stuff, and that powder that's in it essentially just sucks all the oxygen out. Huh. So I mean that could be used. You could probably attach some type of when you start attaching like that stuff, it's obviously not as easy as that, because then it's like, okay, so how do we
I mean, one idiot tried to attach a kit to a drone and it did not go well. So all right, let's see what we got. Let me cut off that camera.
But and really fighting fire with fire is probably something that's something that's more doable.
Yeah.
Where they're actually burning around areas and whatnot. So then that way the fire that is coming through goes around, because that area's already been burned. So
right.
It's like a prescribed burn.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of different ways that you could
fight a fire with using a drone.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Somebody said you look like Sylvester Stallone earlier. Somebody just said I look like Butterbean. Just kidding. Nobody said that. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's see. We got one here. I'm reading this for the first time. Hello, I missed the first part of this interview. Hope that you are doing well. Wondering what would be the best thermal drone setup and how to go about charging for commercial roof inspections. All right, so the best thermal drone setup, if money is no object, you want to look at the Matrice 300 RTK with the ZenMuse H20T. It is really expensive. But it's an amazing drone. It is. What that camera can do is incredible. It also has the flexibility of, like, you can get a spotlight and put it next to it, or you can put the spotlight on top, or you can get, a different, any sort of other attachment that they make for it, and then you can attach it.
P1, LiDAR.
Ways. Yeah. So that would be the biggest thing.
Yeah. And so, that's a great camera. One that could also be possibly used. FLIR came out with a dual
Right.
a dual thermal lensed camera.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's two lenses on one gimbaled camera. One is a wide angle, and one is a real zoomed in one.
Yeah.
So kind of toggling back and forth is kind of easy. That's a possibility.
If you're wanting to go smaller, though, if you're wanting to go smaller and a little more affordable, you could go, the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced is right here. It does have a great thermal on it, full resolution, high res, and it's going to be around the $7,000 mark. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be around the $7,000 mark for that with the Fly More package, everything else. And then over here, this is the
David's grabbing the Evo 2 640 something. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the Autel EVO 2 dual 640T. It's not on, so the gimbal's kind of wobbly. Those are your two. Those are your two best thermals. Those are your two for the budget. Best thermal for budget.
And this guy's kind of a beast. So you've got your zoom lens here. The zoom lens also has kind of a night mode too, so it actually takes in a little bit more ambient light from from the moon and whatnot, because it's using a little bit of the low IR.
Right.
Then you've got a wide angle lens. You've got the thermal, and then you've got the laser rangefinder, which can tell you, basically exactly where an object is in GPS coordinates. So
it is really, every time we bring this thing out and show somebody, they're impressed with it. What it can actually do. All right. So how many batteries how many batteries will let me put it up here. Sorry. How many batteries will I need in order to work continuously with a DJI AgGrass T10 or T30?
Okay. So both, and this has been kind of the deal since the MG1S, 1P, T10, even like DJI T20s, T16s, you're essentially going to get about 10 to 12 minutes, So if you've got fully packed T10, that's just under 55 pounds, you're going to get about 10 to 12 minutes of flight time. Same is for the 93 pound or whatever T20. So with that in mind, the T10 and T30 can realize fast charging, and you actually need some type of generator or inverter or some type of outlet that can provide 220 volts, because most of the stuff is, it's a lot of it's made in areas where they use 220, like in Europe and Asia. So this is where I kind of talk to people like, okay, if you want to be running continuously, think about a generator. Instead of getting, 50 batteries, maybe you look for, extra charger as well that can be used with the generator. Because the batteries for the T10 are about $1,000, and the charger's about around $1,500 for both of those. So, again, you kind of have to figure out, okay, if I've got two chargers running, I can get at least two batteries charged up in about 10 minutes or so, if you're realizing the fast charge. So, I would definitely have, I would say, 4 more.
Yeah.
It just ends up working out that way.
6, you mean? Total of 6, I'm sorry, or 5.
Well, I'm saying I would have at least 4 batteries.
Okay. Sorry.
And possibly 2 chargers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
let's see. Somebody says, so is the T30 worth the extra money? It just depends on what you're doing. I mean, it depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, we have people that don't need to spray a huge area, that only want to use, that only need a T10. So it really just depends on what you're using it for.
I mean, and we kind of talk about why maybe somebody would want to go with a T10 versus a T30. Like right now, we're in kind of, it's not just like, okay, I want to pick the biggest and best drone. Because a lot of times there's other things that you have to do, especially if you're spraying, you're having to try to do the 137 stuff. And sometimes it's easier to get that going the smaller drone route, like the T10. So you kind of have to, you're going to be asking yourselves a couple questions, not just, okay, do I want the bigger drone and it's more money? I'll go with the smaller one. It's like, well, okay, all these different parameters. Like I have to get, paperwork in. Sometimes it's easier to get the T10. So yeah, that's.
We got smart. We have really smart people that watch what we do and ask really smart questions.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great questions.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see. Right. Oh, we got a bunch more here. Thanks so much for the info. Let me put it up there. I appreciate this info so much. You have no idea. The last camera, was that for the FLIR cam or was that for the RTK? The camera, the thermal camera was the FLIR. Yeah.
Sorry, are you talking about this one?
That's just the camera, but that's not a FLIR. That is a Zenmuse H20T.
Yeah. So it has basically the equivalent of a 640 by 512 FLIR. But one of the cameras I talked about with the dual, where it has the dual camera, the dual FLIRs, that is a FLIR product.
Somebody wants to know how much are we charging for UAS aerial applications? So here's the thing: we're not. That's not really something that we do. What we focus on is kind of supplying the service providers. So they come to us to essentially buy their drones, get what they need, get set up to make sure that they're going to be able to do what they want to do,
right? And
then they go get hired out. So yeah, that's not information we have, and really, we're so early on in this whole thing. Like we said, the last 6 months is we've really seen a big uptick. That it would even be hard to necessarily price it. You're going to have to find out what the price of a typical aerial applicator is charging, and then see what fits for you. You know,
and I've heard some things. It's sometimes not as easy as just like, okay, I'm going to call somebody up to do my aerial application. I mean, yes, you can get people out, but sometimes maybe you're kind of lower down on the list. Maybe he or she has several other farms that they have to hit or whatever, and then in the meantime, you're kind of waiting and problems getting worse and that kind of stuff. So we have people that are like, I don't care if it takes me, ultimately a week to do the job that this guy can do in a $500,000 plane.
Right.
$500,000 plane is going to do much more. But with this, you've got, I guess, a little, you can work in the space that you want to work in exactly. You've got it there, so you don't have to necessarily wait on somebody for scheduling, but hopefully that helps.
We'll answer the question. So,
did we say Happy Thanksgiving? Or
no, I did.
Okay. Well, Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, Happy Thanksgiving. This is, I think, a record for us. We're at 34 minutes almost. I think we should call it a day. I think,
Especially don't want to, hold on.
When will the T40 come out? We don't know.
Yeah. I know that, ultimately what they do is they may, come out with that drone, in Asia. And that's, I think that's a lot of times what they're doing. They're trying to get, flight times and everything before they kind of export it. But I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. I think we're going to be basically seeing, because the T10, T30 just came out, and I think those are going to be the flagship drones that are going to be definitely sold through 2022 and all that. But was there?
Let's see here. We might have had another one. We got a thanks. We got.
I thought there was something.
Sorry, T40, he says. Oh, the new
There's a video
T20P and the T40 is what he's saying.
Yeah, no, and again, that's not something that's going to be here. I don't even think it'll be here in 2022. They do a lot of testing and whatnot, and then they'll be like, okay, it's got a year's worth of data and flight, and
I mean, we got to get people approved for the T30 first. Before we start talking about the T40s and the T50s and the T60s, so far, has anybody gotten approved yet by the FAA?
As for the T30?
The T30, yeah.
I don't believe so. I haven't looked for a while, but again,
now this is November 2021, by the way.
Yeah.
If somebody looks back on this, they're full of it.
But because we've talked about ours where we were, right around COVID. So I don't think anything was done for about a year. So that's why ours took 465 days. So if you think
of under 55 pounds, yeah.
No, this was for the over.
Oh, for the T16. Sorry.
So yeah, we put that in 465 days ago, and that was when the T16 was out.
Right.
Now we did know that the T20, eventually it came out while our application was in, but we didn't want to pull it back out. We wanted that just to go, and then we're going to try to add the T20 and the T30. So even if someone put something like, I want to get the T30 approved, they have all of these from backlogs where they're still trying to do T20s. So we've got
a I'm sorry, that was very good information, but we've got a jokester in here that says November 20th. Here it is November 24th. Well, that is that is true, but that's not what I said. I said November 2021. I think it might have just trailed off. I was just trying to timestamp us in case somebody heard us say,
hey,
nobody's
the client's always right. David.
You're right.
Quit arguing with people.
I'm so sorry.
You're right. It's the 24th.
All
course.
Right, we got to shut this thing down. Wait, what is the date today? This is 24th.
It's 24th.
All right, of course. All right.
He just told you.
I know. All right. Well, we are very, very thankful
for all you guys,
for everybody that does watch. We know it's not a lot. We've got a small group of people that really do seemingly enjoy watching us and interacting with us, and we appreciate.
But we can give the teaser. We did start the video.
I don't know what this is.
Oh yeah, it's a teaser.
Oh yeah.
We did start the video on basically start to finish. Mapping an area and then going from that to Terra and then to export to the spraying drone. So we're going to be. It'll
be a 3-part series we'll do, so you guys can check that out and figure out the best ways for you to do the same thing. So all right, everybody, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you next Friday. We're gonna tell us what you want us to talk about, because it always is a struggle. Sometimes
great questions.
Great questions, and please, if you guys have some specific topics you want us to hit, let us know. Yeah. All right, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy 24th.
Hold on.